Good morning. How's everybody today? So, time change. I have a little bit of the time change hangover. Yay. I also have a little bit of a cough, but I think that might be just kind of a thing from the weather change. Last Thursday and Friday and part of Saturday, I had a horrible migraine. Migraine is gone, but now I've got this kind of weird cough that kind of comes and goes, a little bit of drainage. So I'm not sure what all that is, but you know, we're in Samhain season, so here we go. And you're going to hear chirping. I've got a fire alarm indicator, fire thingy. God, words today. It started chirping last week, and we were home all weekend long. I don't think I ever heard it, and then this morning it's just been chirping. So I think last week was our warning sign, and this week we have to get the battery fixed. Anyway, today is, where'd my card go? I've lost my card. Wow, oh, there it is. Having a morning, guys. Okay, so this morning's card is Rare Intersection of Heaven and Earth. Isn't that pretty? It's got a hawk on it. So there's a whole bunch of things coming together today with some synchronicity, I think is the word that everybody likes to use now. I just, for decades, have called it the goddess puts her hand on your shoulder and says, pay attention. But I guess synchronicity is a good word too. So a couple things. First off, there's a hawk on this card, and I chose the hawk as the symbol for the body workers community emblem. And the reason I chose the hawk is very much a sign of strength, and it's the sign of strength with people learning to come together, pursuing your goals, being strong in the workplace. Like, there's a lot of layering in hawk medicine. And the red-tailed hawk has been one of my medicine animals since, I think pretty much since my early 20s. So that medicine feels very good to me and calls to me. And so that synchronicity of today is the first one that I've advertised the big community meeting. Well, I've advertised the community meeting publicly. I put ads out all weekend. And then it's our second actual meeting. So I hope to have a good group. And so the hawk is on today's card, and it's the symbol for tonight's meeting group. And I know that it takes time for things to come to fruition, and I really believe in community and body workers. Anybody who works in the healing community that works with the human body, I think it's important that they have their own network. Counselors have networks, doctors have networks, dentists have networks. But I've never seen a community network for body workers, and I think it's really important. So there's that. And then the other thing that's really interesting is tonight, let me look at the date and the time. So we are in the location that we're going to have the full lunar eclipse in our area, and it looks like it's going to be or it's already happened. full eclipse was at 3:16 a.m. And the eclipse ended at 4:41 a.m. So the eclipse has already happened, it's happening tonight. I'm sorry, I misspoke. So it's happening tonight. So today's the 7th, and it's happening tonight, which, so lunar eclipses and hawks. So the hawk in this card is about the lunar hawk. So there you have species of hawks that hunt during the day and others that hunt at night. And the ones that hunt during the night, I'll read what I wrote. The lunar hunting hawk symbolizes the ability to move through darkness and see clearly, seeing through deception with purpose and finding truth. This is reminding one that what you seek will come in the right moment according to a higher law through spiritual grace. So you have to know that sometimes when you set things in motion, it takes time for that energy to move. And it moves in the timeline that not only you set out with your blueprint, but also the other interactions of the people around you and their blueprints and the energy of whatever divine law you want to believe in. It is a sacred role to create that connection with the divine and be a channel for our purpose, activating our lives with intention. Be a living channel of grace and compassion for each other. We are community. Each of us is connected. Eclipses are all about change, and we have a full moon eclipse. Lunar eclipses are a culmination of emotional cycles that have run their course, and they encourage us to let go of emotions and attachments that are no longer serving, moving into a whole new thing, right? A lunar eclipse can be very powerful for cleansing, for your emotional waters, setting intention, renewal, rejuvenation in the coming months. Something that's energetic, and because energetic cycles are based in lunar energy most of the time, they tend to extend through a period of months, okay? So eclipses bring about events in your life that are part of a cosmic plan, your blueprint, but it's not the eclipse that makes something happen in your life, but that you have the ability to see things more clearly in your life than you have before and bring that forward into manifestation. Whatever changes, whatever things that you want to make happen, you can harness that energy. There are lunar eclipses every year. I love how Facebook and people who have astrology channels are like, rare, won't happen again, blah, blah, blah. Dudes, the moon has a 19-year cycle. I don't know what people mean by rare because it happens several times a year. As a matter of fact, in 2022, 4 eclipses, 2 solar and 2 lunar eclipses. Now, this lunar eclipse tonight is the last one of this particular yearly cycle, okay? So this is the end of this particular cycle, which when I sat down and did my Samhain thing, my Samhain has traditionally been not only connecting with my ancestors, but also setting my intentions for the whole next year. And I knew that bringing in this manifestation and this work of getting my book out there and figuring what I'm going to be teaching and, all of the intentional work that I've kind of just not had time to do for the last 2-3 years, I knew that there would be a shift of energy, and I knew that I would have a lunar eclipse in this first chunk of time, this first 30 days. And there's 2 what I call shadow times in the year, depending on how your life and the calendar works. But your shadow month is the month before your birthday. And that is the month where it's your dark of moon of the year. So that's lots of introspection. That's lots of really chewing on stuff internally, refocusing, making sure things are intentionally set. And then I choose the Samhain month, the month of from All Hallows Eve through to the end of November, to be my my other dark moon. And this year I welcomed in the lunar eclipse energy, that the shadow side of change, which means it's maybe not going to go great, and it might be really tight financially, and there's a lot of change that I'm starting, and it may seem like it's moving really slow, but I am harnessing the energy of the season and the moons and the stars to manifest this intentional moving forward in my life, so that I can do the things that I need to do and be available to do the things I need to be available for. So this is the prayer for today. For the lunar eclipse specifically, I call upon the protection of the Eastern Gateway with unconditional love and invite the power of divine grace. I call upon the protection of the Southern Gateway with unconditional love. I invite the power of divine will. I call upon the protection of the Western Gateway with unconditional love. I invite the power of divine healing. I call upon the protection of the Northern Gateway with unconditional love. I invite the power of divine presence. Earth Mother, Father Sky, Lunar Sister, ancient guardians, guides, and all of the sisters and brothers of the animal kingdom. I invoke grace, will, healing, and divine presence, and love for the fulfillment of purpose in all beings. May we be assisted through the endless divine resources for the greatest good of all generations. May divine grace evoke love and light and intentional awareness in all realms. Blessed be. And in Celtic Devotional, the daily theme is, what is the source of your creativity? And I read that and I laughed because the source of my creativity is my connection to energy, is my core gift, energy sensitivity. I am connected into the life force of all of who we are. We are electrical beings, and some of us have a little bit more sensitivity in that particular realm. Others don't. Some of us are empaths, some of us are energy sensitive, some of us are more earth sense oriented. It varies. There's so many gifts out there. For the great variety, I pray for the great variety of spiritual expression, for the spiritual freedom. Freedom? We're going to start over. I pray for the great variety of spiritual expression, and for spiritual freedom, I give loving thanks. I call upon the Encompasser of souls to breathe light and liberation into those places where spiritual self-determination is constrained or punished. May the great work of science be guided by the source of all mystery in wise and considerate ways. May no soul be harmed, may no living being suffer torment, or be treated without respect for the inquiries of research and science. Wise women and wise men and the holy ones of all generations, I call to you to send a blessing on all who are stuck in the past and walk the spirals of in-turning maze. May your wisdom lead them by fresh and fruitful pathways to the blessings of the present moment. And that brings up map out of nowhere. So map is, I don't know if any of you know anything about Paralandra, but Paralandra are basically kind of like Bach. It's essences of the world, or it's a very alternative thing. Okay, so if you're not into that, move on. But MAP is we all have the availability to tap into our guides and talk to our own guides. Everybody has the ability to talk to their own guides. You do not need an intermediary. Sometimes it's nice to get a validation from somebody who's clairaudient or a little bit psychic, but you don't have to have that. You don't need that, okay? And what comes with that is an additional layering of connection. There are teams, I guess for the better explanation, of entities who work in a plane near to ours, other side, that can help us with healing. And it's not just your guides and their healer angels or entities, but there are teams that their whole thing is to help us get to that place of connection and awareness with our human bodies, that we can heal our human bodies, or at least get them to function a little bit better so we can do the other things that we need to do in our lives. And we all have the ability to tap into MAP. It's a thing. I encourage you to go look it up. Not everybody's going to be open to it, and I totally understand that. But, you know, it's just like, I remember 20 years ago, Reiki was not accepted as a thing. Reiki is a thing, but energy work, whether you call it Reiki or any other fancy term, it affects your physical body, because our physical bodies are run, we're a highly functioning hydroelectric plant. You know, we put water in and we have to put food in to fuel that water electrical system to keep things working. And good water, good food, uncontaminated, helps everything work. And everything's got to go through that gut, and that gut-brain biome connection is really, really important. And doing MAP can help. Anyway, I thought today's daily devotion was kind of synchronicity, I guess, is the word again, working at its best. It's Divine Mother saying, okay, here's a card that tells you the connection with what you're doing and what you intended to do through Samhain, and making sure that you're doing it the right way, validated, because you will find it hilarious. I woke up this morning, I was really sluggish. I have that time change hangover thing going on. And I really genuinely thought for a good 5-10 minutes, I kept going back and forth. Oh, I'll just skip daily devotional today. I'll just skip daily devotional today. And then I went, no, I'm not staying on the thing I need to do. I need to do the thing I need to do. And I pulled this card and I went, okay, I think that's my first hint. And then I went, I could have swore the lunar eclipse was here, and I looked it up and I went, oh, yep, there we go. So the things we do when we set our intentions matter, and they matter not just to us, they matter to other people. So I got my validation today, and hopefully this reaches whomever it needs to for their validation too. And I mean it when I say the prayer. I invoke grace, will, healing, presence, and love for the fulfillment of purpose in all divine beings. May we be assisted through the endless divine resources for the greatest good of all generations. May divine grace evoke love and light and intentional awareness in all realms. And blessed be. And I will see you tomorrow in prayer.